Thank you very much, Cliff. We'll now send it behind home plate for tonight's national anthem, singing the Star-Spangled Banner. I'd like to welcome Chez from Billings, Montana.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much, Chez, for that rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. Vibes in their City Connect Baby Blues for this Friday night fireworks. As per usual, it's a Springs Friday, and they are in the Springs jerseys. Christian Day is on the mound, and he has had a pretty nice run of it. Since July the 14th, he has not lost a ball game, and neither has his team when he has pitched. He is 4-0. The Vibes are 4-0. 2 wins over NoCo, 2 wins over Grand Junction, and in each of those games, he's allowed 2 earned runs, 3 earned runs, 2 earned runs, and 4 earned runs, all while going 6, 5, 7, and 6 2/3 innings. He's coming off a season-best strikeout performance of 7 against the Owls. He has not beaten Ogden this year. In 2 tries, he's pitched really well against the Raptors. He's allowed 3 runs in 5 innings in 1 start, and then 3 runs in 7 innings in another start, but his offense has not been able to back him up in those 2 outings, both in Ogden, a 5-2 loss and a 3-2 loss in June and July, respectively.
He is a pitch-to-contact pitcher, so the defense behind him, very important. Steve Barmakian out in left field, Matt Hogan in center with Brandon Crosby in right, then around the diamond from third to first. It's Dusty Stroop at third, Elvis Peralta at short, Ethan Lopez at second, and Jake McMurray at first, with David Martinez behind the plate.
Nick Olch to lead things off for the Raptors tonight. Shout out to Richmond, California, and El Cerrito and Berkeley and Albany while I'm at it as well. Olch, batting-wise, the best on their team at .382. The first pitch is low at 6:39 p.m. Overcast skies, a slightly balmy 76 degrees. And already a new piece of lumber for Ogden. It's a pretty good shave off the top of that bat by Christian Day. Probably give a little bit of a sting to Olch's hands. Finishes Triple Crown numbers, 7 home runs and 51 RBI. Heck of a year for a guy, his 2nd year in the Pioneer League. Fouled away. Really his first full year. Got a look at Billings last year after a couple of years in the now RIP Pacific Association. It's inside. 2-2 to Nick Olch. That's hit to right center. It's definitely going to be 1. It might be 2. Hogan is going to cut this off. He slips. It'll be a leadoff double for Nick Olch. I think we're dealing with just a little bit of internet issues here as scoreboards have, no, scoreboard's better now. Camera's taking a few hits here, so we'll try to get that squared away. Reese Alexiadis, who leads this league in home runs with 22. Leadoff double, a man at second. Fouled away. The Vibes took one of the 3 games. The last game decided by just 1 run. I think you're going to see a lot more of those kinds of ball games as we get closer to the finish here. And not just against Ogden, but Grand Junction and Northern Colorado, the 3 teams the Vibes finish with here in the second half. We're coming down to it. 27 more games to go. The Vibes 2 games up in first place. We're certainly scoreboard watching. And certainly managers, and maybe not the Raptors since they're already in the playoffs, but certainly Frank Gonzalez with the Owls, Les Lancaster with the Vibes, and Chris Nobbenshoe with the Jackalopes are going to play the games a lot tighter. They're going to look for every little advantage they can get, maybe the use of a designated pinch hitter, pinch runner more often. Go with handedness for relief pitchers, maybe shorter outings, more relievers. No, it's a wide open race in the South right now, but the Vibes are happy to be on top of it. That's in the dirt. Two and two, nobody out here in the top of inning number 1. Weak ground ball. Elvis Peralta will not keep it on the infield. And now Olch will take third. It's a single for Alexiadis. Well, he could have at least, with knocking that ball down, kept the runner at second. He was not able to. Got just a slight nick of it. And perhaps slowed it down even a bit for Barmakian and left. Here's Logan Williams at third base, a spot we have not seen him in. Before the game, the Raptors made a transaction, and their normal shortstop, Sal Gazzo, went on the 60-day IL, which means he is done for the season. And so Rafael Nerea, who is usually at third, goes from third to short. And from a catching DH spot to third goes Logan Williams. That's into the glove of Peralta. He throws the third wildly and into the dugout. A yes, 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 no from Elvis Peralta. It's going to be an L6 for Williams and E6, which allows Olch to score and Alexiadis to get to second base. Excuse me, Alexiadis to get to third base. And now Jason Hurst wants a word. Now it's, I believe, 1 from the mound, 2 from the field. So this should give Alexiadis third. In other words, if you're picking a guy off on the mound and it goes out of play, the guy gets 1 base. But if it's in the field, you get 2 bases. For example, a player hits a ball at a shortstop. The player throws it into the dugout. He gets both first and second base. Which is why Alexiadis, to the displeasure of Jason Hurst there, gets third base on the error. It's a very costly error. Well, now there's going to be some talk because the home plate umpire, Stu Bertrand, might have had a second thought there. Eric Martinez at first and our third base umpire, Steele Rogers, will all converse now. unless I have the ruling wrong, unless it only applies to a pitcher on the mound. Might be up to the umpire's judgment. Although if it was a judgment call, then there's no way he should get third. One away, a runner at third. Damian Henderson, the DH. It almost worked out gloriously for the Vibes. Instead, it's pretty much worst case scenario. Damian Henderson on 2 straight changeups, swings and misses. Well, Day is ready. He is a quick worker. His 0-2 is outside. Now 2-2. The run, of course, is unearned. And should they get a second out, and he swing and a miss. There is that second out. Henderson a little overmatched in that at bat. 2 away now, and that'll bring up Juan Teixeira. Well, all in all, first and third with nobody out. If you can get out of this allowing 1 run, I think you'll feel pretty good about it. Data to Teixeira. That's down low. You've got to get Teixeira, though, and he is by no means any pushover. 351, 8, and 53. Another second-year Pioneer League player. Not a second-year Raptor, though. He split time between the Boise Hawks and the Billings Mustangs last year. The Billings Mustangs, or the Boise Hawks, rather, made some very strange trades at the end of the season. Teixeira, ground ball to Peralta. His throw, this time a good one. And Day allows just the 1 unearned run. And I think all in all, as I said, I think you have to feel pretty good about that outcome. We go to the bottom of inning number 1. 1-0 Raptors on Vibes TV. Welcome back to Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. It's 1-0 Raptors as we head to the bottom of inning number 1. On the mound for the Raptors, Mitchell Stone. It's one of their better pitchers this year. He's put together a nice year of a 4-4 record, a 4.75 ERA. And among the starters, that is the lowest ERA. He struck out 75, most on the staff, in 60 2/3 innings. He's been one of the better pitchers in the league this year. He'll face Brandon Crosby to start off the bottom of inning number 1. And Stone's first pitch is taken for strike 1.
Behind him, it'll be Olch in left, Alexiadis in center, with Feltz in right. Then around the diamond from third to first, Williams, Nerea, Connors, and Teixeira, with Horner at the catcher spot.
Hands over the head for Stone. He fires a strike.
An interesting lineup defensively for the Raptors, no doubt. We haven't seen Logan Williams at third base, as you mentioned, Tyler. All season, he's really been more of a catcher, but with the injury to Gazzo, Nerea sliding over to short, changes had to be made.
A triple pump from Mitchell Stone, and that's a swing and a miss. That is a flag in a certain Key and Peele sketch.
See, he was good with 2, but as soon as he hit 3, then all of a sudden that's 15 yards, Tyler.
It's also his first strikeout. 76th on the season. Now Steve Barmakian to face Mitchell Stone. Sun's broken through the overcast skies. It's the setting sun behind Pikes Peak. Lights are on here. Breaking ball, that's a good one from Stone. That made its way back toward the outside corner, 1-1. We have not seen Mitchell Stone here at UC Health Park this year. High chopper to first. Teixeira to flip to Stone. Not in time. And that is a single. I don't know that Stone got over there quite in time. Just a slight hesitation on Stone's part. It looks like he did most of his job. I think it was just such a high chopper that Juan Teixeira, well, there's nothing he can do to bring it down. Here's Mr. Stroop. Dusty at 367, 17, and 86 to lead the Pioneer League in RBI. First pitch off the end of the bat. Toward right. It's Connors calling off Feltz for the second out. First pitch swinging is Stroop. And it's a one pitch out for the second of this bottom of the first. Now Jacob Barfield. He had a really nice series in Ogden. In fact, he is now the Vibes' leading hitter among qualified batting average at 369. 16 homers, chasing Dusty by just 1, and 73 driven in. First pitch, big breaking ball down low. Barfield turns on it quickly, but that's out of play. Stone 6'3", 205 from El Paso, Texas. He is, or El Paso, as you might say. Paso. An Oklahoma State Cowboy in his college career. There goes Barmakian. It swung on and missed by Barfield, and Barmakian is out. And you can see the reaction from Steve. And the reaction from both Barfield and Jason Hurst. It is a caught stealing. 2-4. The inning is over. And boy, it must have been some sweet hand moves from the second baseman, Connor. We'll take a break. We'll come back for the top of the second here. 1-0 Raptors on Vibes TV. Top of the second, Tyler and Hudson with you. It's 1-0 Raptors. Dakota Connors, who had the tag of the century to end the bottom of the first, leads it off here in the second. Batting at .306, 4-55. As I press my tongue firmly into my cheek, it's strike one. See, that's how you work around the cliche there, Hudson. You just reorganize the nomenclature and you come off as somewhat original. Also, there's nomenclature for your bingo cards at home. 0-2 to Connors. Swung on, fouled away.
It's going to be a tough one for Tyler to work in, and he's already got it here in the top of the second.
Sylvia from Tulsa has bingo already. That's a quick bingo. She texts in on the Vibes hotline. Still 0-2. Connors putting together a pretty good at bat.
Stay tuned for my anti-disestablishmentarianism in the bottom of the sixth.
Well, bottom of the second, we do have another trip in our wide world of baseball. We do, right?
We do.
Okay.
This is true.
All right. Just making sure. Connors fights it off again somehow. And that one, that's a big-time emergency hack. That's almost more of a cricket swing. Up the middle. Lopez on a dive. It's a single for Dakota Connors. Not sure if that was a mistake to location, but on an 0-2 pitch, it's a single up the middle. I'll bring up Rafael Nerea. .329, 9-50 for Nerea. Leadoff man on is Connors at first. First pitch is outside. Martinez with a peek at first. And I think may now, if Connors shows another big lead, throw over. Breaking ball, that's a good one from Day. And it's 1-1. A throw over. Connors is back. Hasn't been caught this year. He swiped 6 bags, which is a modest amount. There goes Connors. It's a delayed steal, and he is cooked. 2-4 on the caught stealing. The ball was in the dirt. So Nerea had no chance at poking at it. But Connors wasn't running initially, and then had such a big lead, he tried to take second. Saw Martinez almost throw to first behind him initially. It is now 3-1, though, to Rafael Nerea, who is patrolling shortstop. There's a nice strike at the bottom of the zone. He just scraped the bottom of the black there. 3-2. Fought off. So perhaps a little bit of poetic justice to Steve Barmakian on the caught stealing of Connors. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Day. The high fastball. Nerea goes right through, and there's 2 away.
The only difference between the caught stealing in favor of the Vibes versus against the Vibes is Martinez's pinpoint accurate throw made it about the easiest tag in the world versus the most incredible tag of all time.
Colton Horner. First pitch, Steve Reich on the outside. Umpire giving a little bit off the plate today, but you ask for consistency. You don't ask for much else, honestly. Day, Dusty, is going to watch that not roll foul. It ricocheted twice off the grass, but spun in both times. That's the correct play from the pitcher and the third baseman. You just get unlucky. It creates a little bit of a situation now with Cam Feltz, the right fielder. A very good hitter, a very speedy hitter, a good bunter as well. First pitch. Does he go? Yes, says the umpire at second base. What's my rule, Hudson, about umpires at second base making check swing calls?
If you're not down the line and the home plate umpire can't see it, don't call that strike.
You can't either. 0-1 to Cam Feltz. Especially if you're on the right side of second base facing the press box. 0-2 now to Cam Feltz. I guess me facing him, he's on the right side. He's on the second base side of second base. Let's put it that way. The 0-2 to Feltz. Down low. Try to get him in the back foot there. Back foot breaking ball. One and two the count. It's Horner at first, the catcher. Up the middle, a base hit. Horner is going to try to take three, which will allow Feltz to get to second, and it was the wrong play from Matt Hogan. That was the wrong play. He missed his cutoff man. That's a single for Cam Feltz. And now it's second and third for the leadoff man, Ulch, who doubled. And now it is a full-blown situation for Day. The first pitch, base hit to right field. This is 2 runs, and it's 3-0 Raptors. Ulch, 2 at-bats, 2 hits, and now 2 RBI. Don't forget about the run he scored as well. And it's 3-0 Ogden. Alexiadis a single in his first at-bat. Now, Ulch, a contact man for sure. Just 2 steals for him, though. Ground ball, Peralta on the backhand will go the short way for the final out. 2 runs in on the 2-run single by Nick Ulch. We head to the bottom of inning number 2. 3-0 Raptors on Vibes TV. Welcome back to Vibes Baseball at Vibes TV. We'll lead things off with Jacob Barfield, who was left of the altar after the caught stealing of Steve Barmakian to end the first inning. He'll get a second chance at his first at bat. He'll be followed by McMurray and Ethan Lopez. But first, it's time for us to leave this booth, take a trip to the wide world of baseball. Hudson, you are our pilot. Where are you taking us today?
Tyler, we have a new member of the Vibes. His name is Derek Schoen. He's an outfielder. We haven't seen him yet at home, but he did attend University of Mary. He's a rookie out of that school, and the location of University of Mary is Bismarck, North Dakota. It's the capital of North Dakota, founded during the Lewis and Clark expedition and named after the German chancellor at the time, Otto von Bismarck. Ranked by Forbes as the 7th fastest growing city in the United States with a population of 133,000 rather. The Dakota Wizards are one of the professional sports teams in the area, or were. They were part of the International Basketball Association, and they won a title in 2006. Not a lot of sports in the area, but some famous sports people from Bismarck include Carson Wentz and Brock Lesnar.
3-1 to Jacob Barfield. Thank you for sharing with the class, Hudson, your report.
I would
Bismarck.
like to say they do hold one record as well. In 2007, they broke the record for the most snow angels in one place, 8,962 on the Capitol Square.
Leadoff walk for Jacob Barfield. I have been told that, put it this way, it might also be the capital of Hoth up there in Bismarck. Jake McMurray, a man on. Barfield with leadoff walk. We are going to have a guest in the third inning. We'll go behind enemy lines with a guest from Ogden. Stone to the plate. McMurray waits back, but fouls it into the stands. It's a souvenir. Well, on 500 watts for McMurray, he's at 490. 50 hits in 102 at-bats. He's been something else. Strike 2 to McMurray. That's been given. An umpire really sets the strike zone day in, day out, and you ask for consistency. That outside corner is going to be given 0-2 to McMurray. That's high. Now it's 1-2. Just a pitch ahead there in my head. Three 0 Raptors, 1 in the first, 2 in the second. McMurray waits back, fouls it away. One and two, the count. McMurray takes high. He's got a great eye. He had a lot of pride in telling me today that in his 102 at-bats and many more plate appearances, he's only swung and missed 9 times this year as a Vibe. That's a line drive, foul. Barfield was on the run. Could have been a run for Rocky Mountain. Also found out Jake McMurray was a huge fan of Tottenham Hotspur, the Premier League club I support. Premier League started today. 3-2. Hudson, I know you are up for soccer as well. The 3-0 win by Man City today over Burnley to strike things off.
Erling Haaland, the first man to ever score the first and second goal of the Premier League season in any year ever. Did it today against Burnley.
That's a good nugget. 3-2, McMurray into right center. That's a base hit. Over is Alexiadis to cut it off. It's going to be first and third for the Vibes with nobody out. Can that guy hit? Or can that guy hit?
Now batting number 40, Ethan Lopez.
I'll bring up Ethan Lopez. Lopez up to 322, 6 home runs, and 43 RBI. They're going to bring in Williams at third. Defense looking to turn 2 up the middle. Stone's pitch in the dirt. Which is high. 2-0 now to Ethan Lopez. He won't get cheated. Wind, just a very slight breeze going from left field toward right. So almost perpendicular to the home plate mound line. Lopez takes a big breaking ball for a strike. What did you say about guys who throw breaking balls on 2-0? They trust it a lot. You don't trust a breaking ball that may take you to 3-0. You trust a breaking ball that you know will take you to 2-1. Lopez fouls it back. That was the fastball from Stone. And now the count evens. Really nice to be back with you on Vibes TV. We took, 4 or 5 days off in between games, but we are back here at UC Health Park. These 3-on, 3-off homestands are not bad from the employee perspective. Lopez to center field. That will get down. And the Vibes have their first run. Thanks to Mr. Vibes himself, Ethan Lopez, 3-1. I don't know the exact numbers, but I'd have to believe Ethan is the longest tenured Vibe because, he's spent all 3, or at least, parts of all 3 independent Pioneer League seasons with Rocky Mountain. So I'll give him that superlative right here on air. Elvis Peralta, the next man up. But before he gets to the plate, Evan Parker wants a word with Mitchell Stone. I'm going to have to write Mitchell Stone down as a good fake name.
I think Mitchell Stone might be a good fake name, but I think Steele Rogers, the third base umpire tonight, may have him beat. Steele Rogers. Now, there are some pretty good fake names. Eric Martinez is blank enough where you can get it, but I think Steele Rogers is just enough. That's a good quarterback name.
It is a good quarterback name. Now Peralta. Corners are in, perhaps expecting Peralta to drop one down. And he has. Takes a first pitch strike. Peralta 318, 4 and 35. He did not show bunt on the first pitch. Does not mean he won't show bunt on the second. And we're going to get a second mound meeting here as Horner and Stone have something to go over. So that's the second one used by the Raptors in this at bat. High and away for ball 1. Now, if it's a matter of you think you might get crossed up because you're not on the same page, that won't count. And you tell the umpire, hey, we have to talk about pitch selection. That doesn't count against you. That's not what happened there with Horner. Here comes the 1-1. Peralta takes outside, 2-1. A walk, 2 singles in this inning. Fives with a run on the board, nobody out. Barfield came around to score on the Ethan Lopez single. They're playing behind the runners. The pitch is hit to right center field. Alexiadis will not get there, and it's past him. It goes all the way to the wall. Here comes Lopez. No relay throw. This game is tied. A 2-run double for Elvis Peralta. And the conga line continues. Still nobody out here in the second inning.
Time and time again, it kind of feels like Peralta gets unlucky with big swings like that. Extra base hits from him usually get robbed at about the wall, but that got behind Alexiadis, made his back turn. So Peralta may be the boost of confidence he needs in terms of extra base hits.
I'm not sure what the conversation is down on the third baseline. Some sort of piece of equipment is in Steele Rogers' hands. Is it his own clicker that was on the field? I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it was something that both Brian Kloppe and Jason Hurst took interest in. Anyway, David Martinez at the dish with Elvis Peralta on its second. A 3-3 ball game here in the bottom of the second. Now, hold on. Whatever it is, he wants home plate umpire Stu Bertrand to have it. Does it belong to the Vibes? Something that fell out of someone's pocket? Is it somebody's phone?
You know, Tyler, it's phone shaped. I don't know if it's big enough to be a phone, though.
Is it something that came on from the field?
Maybe it's a beeper?
Is it a fan's phone? Anyway, David Martinez, first job, get the man over. Second job, get the man in. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. It's 0-1.
Tyler, our cameraman Christian just informed me to what it was. We have our photographer Bobby Stevens tonight. He's doing a mic'd up of players. Ethan Lopez, one of those players that's mic'd up. His mic battery fell out.
Do you know what I have to say? That's what I thought it was. It looked like a lavalier mic battery. I didn't have the guts to say it because I thought, what would that be doing out here on a Pioneer League baseball field? But that is some great hashtag content right now being produced by Bobby Stevens.
As an audio guy, that hurt my soul. I got to go grab the mic pack.
Peralta going to take third. The throw from Horner is not in time. Boy, he had a big lead, and he just timed it off Stone. Honestly, it was a little more uncomfortable than I thought it might be. You never want to make the first nor third out at third base, and I would have to imagine Peralta called that all on his own. He got the job done. Now it's just a matter of get him in for Martinez. The get him over part is self-done. Big cut and a miss by Martinez. It's strike 2.
That was stolen base number 16 on the season for Peralta. Still not necessarily near Andrew Hansen of last year. 28 stolen bases, still the record for the Vibes.
That gets him close to Brandon Crosby, though. Crosby was 17. Martinez just stays alive. He's got to shorten up just a little bit. A ball up the middle will give the Vibes the lead. They're leaving the middle infielders back. The corners are in. A fly ball will do it for David. Up the middle. Nerea for the outs, but that will get the job done. It goes 6-3, and the Vibes lead on the RBI groundup by David Martinez. Well done. So the first 4 men reach base here in the second. They all score. All right, now that stolen base by Peralta looms rather large. Got caught in the throat there a little bit on the nervy part of it, but he got the job done. Here's Hogan. And Matt Hogan had one heck of a game in Ogden in the win the Vibes got. 2 home runs, 7 driven in, including a grand slam. It was the 4th grand slam of the year. Somewhat not surprisingly, they've all come on the road. Grand Junction, Grand Junction, Grand Junction in Ogden.
I'm seeing a pattern, Tyler.
Yes, I am as well. 2-0 to Matt Hogan. Big cut and a miss. 2-1. The multi-home run games. Only one home multi-home run game. That was Barfield against Ogden in our last series at home. Hogan to left center. Alexiadis before the track. He makes the catch. And there's 2 outs. But I'll give you Barfield, 2 home runs at Glacier. Stroop, 2 at Idaho Falls. Then we got Grand Junction, Grand Junction, Grand Junction, Grand Junction, Grand Junction, Grand Junction, Ogden, and Ogden. So there you go.
Glacier, not necessarily an easy ballpark to have a multi-home run game.
But Jacob Barfield did the job there.
There aren't many fences that can contain Jacob Barfield's power.
'Tis true. First pitch over the head of Brandon Crosby. A former teammate for a time with Mitchell Stone this year. Mitchell Stone, who doesn't, at least came into the game not giving up much more than 4 runs a game. I'm not sure he's had a 4-run inning all year. I don't know that as well. Someone else who might be on in the next inning might. But it's 4 for the Vibes here in the second. Still batting with Crosby. The day off for both teams in the middle of this 6-gamer. 3-1. 3 at Ogden and 3 here. It's nice to have the weekend series here. We got the festivities. Of course, tomorrow, Army Air Force night, we're going to have the 18-gun salute, the howitzers in left field again this year. A flyover. It's going to be fantastic. This is off the end of the bat. Nerea says he has it. He does. And the inning is over. It's 4 runs on 3 hits. No errors. And no one left on base. The Vibes, they now have the lead as we head to the top of inning number 3 on Vibes TV. 4-3, Rocky Mountain. Welcome back to Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. It's the top of inning number 3. Christian Day to face Williams, Henderson, and Teixeira in a 4-3 ball game. It's our celebrity 3rd inning, and as promised, we're going behind enemy lines I'd like to welcome in Richard Armstrong of the Ogden Raptors. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, Tyler. Thanks for having me up here for a little bit. Greatly appreciate it.
So we got to watch you the last 3 days, and now you are here in person watching the game, taking in from the stands here. Your first thoughts, have you been to UC Health Park?
Yeah, I was here last year. Absolutely gorgeous park. Really enjoy coming here for the scene, the view, everything else like that. But I will be honest with you, there's no view like Ogden if you haven't been there yet.
Oh, I have it. 21, when I was with Idaho Falls, I remember sitting with Mason Ross in that broadcast booth, and the Wasatch Mountains behind center field, probably one of the best backdrops for sure in the entire league, and that's hard to beat right there.
Well, we consider it the best baseball view in the world. So that's our model right there. I mean, but coming to a different ball field is absolutely exciting, too. I actually get to enjoy my time not working during the day, and then I get to come and watch a ball game without having to work.
It's so nice. So it's not very often that I get to take in a baseball game without having to some sort of work or operations with it. We lost internet a couple weeks ago, and so there were 1 or 2 days where I didn't have a broadcast. So I actually just got to sort of take in the game from the press box and do some other operations, and I was like, oh, I can actually sort of relax and enjoy it today.
You know, and that's funny because I actually have an intern, Ellis Beacon, this year, and I've had to do some other jobs and let him go ahead and take over, which has been really nice, too. Get back to my game day operations status.
Swing and a miss by Damian Henderson. That's the second out of the inning. We're speaking with Richard Armstrong, who works for the Ogden Raptors, does the Ogden broadcast. And I remember receiving an email from you this winter time. You said, hey, Tyler, it's Richard from the Ogden Raptors. I was told I'm doing the broadcast next year. I've been doing all sorts of things in your career. Was it 20 years now with the Raptors altogether?
I am. This is year 19 with them. Yeah, I started out just doing basic concessions, picnics, and then went on from there.
Well, as you'd know better than anybody else, that minor league baseball is sort of an everyman sport. You got to be able to do 1 and 2 and 3 and wear this hat and pull this tarp and fix this light bulb.
Yeah, it's like every baseball field. There's like 4 regular staff members year round, and even during the winter, I'm busy. I mean, we've got our general manager, we got our clubhouse facility manager, we got the owner and myself, which I do a lot of public stuff.
It's a base hit to right field for Wantsashare. Well, Richard, we've seen a lot of the Raptors this year. Of course, the team's already in the playoffs, and here in the second half, you know, they can have as good of a season as they really want to, or, you know, if they just want to more or less get ready for the playoffs, maybe not throw their best guys the rest of the year, whatever it might be. But for 3 years now, this team has made the playoffs in the Southern Division and won the first half. I just wanted to get a perspective from you on how you thought this team has performed this year.
Absolutely fantastic. Cash Beecham has put a great team together. He's got a good core of kids this year, and we haven't seen many turnaround this year compared to years in past. Yeah, you know, you get in a little bit of slump, and that's what we are right now, but I think we're coming out of it. I mean, we took 2 out of 3 with you guys up there in Ogden, so we're hoping that we get it turned around.
Mm-hmm. We certainly want to go into the playoffs a hot team. That's what everybody wants to do. Dakota Connors flips this to right. Crosby is going to make the catch. It's a 1-2-3-4 third inning. Richard, can you stick through the break?
I sure can. I've got nothing better to do. My wife's doing her stats down there, so that's great.
All right, more with Richard Armstrong on the other side. It's 4-3 Vibes on Vibes TV. Welcome back to Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. It's the bottom of the third, 4-3 the Vibes lead. Tyler Peterson and Hudson Ridley with you, and we continue our celebrity third inning. We are hanging out with Richard Armstrong, who works for the Ogden Raptors, does their broadcasts. You may have seen him, heard him on the last 3 games. He's now hanging out with me here in the third. And Richard, I want to ask you a couple personal questions now. How did you get into baseball? I know you're a Cubs fan. How did you fall in love with it and end up working in it?
Well, it's funny how it all happened. I have been a Cubs fan ever since I was born. Spent a lot of time with my grandfather growing up, 5, 6 years old, listening to Jack Brickhouse and Harry Carey at Wrigley Field. I played high school ball and then got into the military and just started playing softball instead. And decided to move back into Utah, and my wife had found a job for my 8 and 9-year-old kids down at the stadium, and I just started getting involved that way. And an opportunity came. I talked to the owner, Mr. Baggett, Dave Baggett, and he said, yeah, come up and help me with the video board about 12, 13 years ago, and it's just flourished since then.
Leadoff walk to Steve Barmaky, and that'll bring up Dusty Stroop against Mitchell Stone here in the bottom of the third, a 4-3 ball game.
But I've also coached a lot of baseball, too, with my kids. I've got 5 boys, 3 girls, so 4 of my boys.
You'll stay busy then, for sure.
I coached all my boys. So that's another thing. Baseball is a passion.
You have to love it to put in the hours that it requires from you.
Yeah, it does. There's a lot of hours that go into it, but it's funny because I only do it part-time. I'm not their full-time broadcaster. I actually have a regular job.
I believe you work for the Department of Defense. Is that correct?
I do work for the Department of Defense. I've been a federal employee for 33 and a half years, and as soon as I get done with work, I go right down to the ballpark about 3:30, and I'm down there till about 10:30, and back to the grind again.
I do want to call a little bit of attention here. That's the trainer, Jessica, and Evan Parker, the pitching coach, who've gone out and talked with Mitchell Stone. I don't know if they've spied something with Stone in his release, if he's trying to work through something, but just last week, a similar situation, Pablo Arevalo had to be taken out of a start here at UC Health Park. And
yeah, Pablo is still on the injured reserve list from what I understand.
He was just activated.
Just activated today. Yep.
I did want to ask you about Salgazzo, though, that he's done for the season. I didn't realize he has sustained any type of injury.
Unfortunately, I cannot say exactly what happened, but it did happen while we were in Grand Junction last weekend. Unfortunate. He was a core in our infield, but I'll tell you what, Nerea's doing a great job at shortstop.
He is playing a fine shortstop. There's a strike to Dusty Stroop, and we said that's a 2-0 curveball again. You got to have a lot of confidence to throw a breaking ball on a 2-0 count, and Stone's got a good one, now 2-1.
Yeah, Stone's been really reliable this year for us, which has been really good. But I do want to congratulate Dusty Stroop, Pioneer League All-Star team.
2 years running now for Dusty.
Yep.
Well, let me ask you this, because you have seen, I might call it 3 versions of the Vibes in 3 years. Let me ask you about this version of the Vibes this year, because, Stroop hits this high. Is it deep enough? It sends back Alexiadis, and Chen, it's off the top of the wall. That was extremely hard to track, and for Stroop, it's going to be a double.
And that's why he's an all-star.
And that is why he's an all-star. That is double number, let's count them up right here, 21. Before I go into my question, I believe also Reese Alexiadis, Dan Kubiak, Brandon McCabe. Did I miss anybody else from Ogden?
Logan Williams, who's playing third base tonight for us.
He went in as an all-star catcher.
Yes. We've got a few utility players this year. Dane Tofflin's one. Juan Teixeira, Rafi. Landon Barnes is another one. Mm-hmm. We've got a lot of utility players that can play many different positions.
Barfield at the plate, second and third, nobody out. Swing and a foul back. All right, I'll continue my question for you. You've seen 3 versions of the Vibes in 3 years. Let's hear about what your thoughts are on this version, the 2023 Vibes.
I'll tell you what, knowing Les Lancaster, as I did because he was our pitching coach last year, he has put a heck of a team together. I think they're finally getting their groove together. It shows out on the field. I think they were in first place when we seen them.
Still up by 2 games.
Still up by 2 games, and they are contenders for the second half, for sure. And, it's like this. You got to put a good core of team together, and I think he's got that core finally.
1-1 the count to Barfield. Fouled away, and I think maybe all things being even. Nice catch by a fan in the back row. Bare hand that time. I think all things being even, with all the, let's say, crossover between these 2 teams, I think both Les and Cash and Dave and everybody would love to see a Vibes Raptors playoff series.
Well, I'll tell you what, me being biased,
yes.
and this is just my own opinion, I would love to see that because I'll tell you what, I do know for a fact that Cash and Les talk all the time.
Yes,
I do. They are very good friends. That's why Cash brought Les in last year as the pitching coach.
Well, let's make a deal, Richard. You beat up on the Jackalopes and Owls, and we'll try our best as well, and we'll see you there September.
Actually, we don't even see the Jackalopes anymore.
Do you not?
No, we do not. We've got.
That's so interesting.
Well, you've seen the schedule.
I have.
But no, we've got the Northern Colorado Owls for 3 games after we get done with you for 3 games, and then they come into town for 3 games next week. And then I believe we come back and see you guys again for 6. And then we've got Billings. I believe Northern Colorado for 3 again. And then we go up to Idaho Falls, and that's it. So this will be the last time we see you guys until playoffs.
All right. Well, I don't know if you took a look at what our schedule is comprised of, but from the start of the second half, we play 3 teams: Ogden, Northern Colorado, Grand Junction. I believe it's an 18, 18, and 15, 1, 2, 3. Barfield on top of this. If it's fair, it's gone.
And
it is fair.
It is gone.
And it's gone. It's 3 runs for the Vibes. Thanks to Richard Armstrong in the booth.
Don't blame me for that one. I'm not going to take the credit for that one. Like I said, you guys have really hit the ball well. I mean, it's like the first game of the series against you guys on Monday. It was like, wow. And then each game's been close other than that first game.
Well, I'll say this. Barfield, I believe, had a home run or 2 in Ogden. I'll also say this. I don't know that a couple of the infielders took a little exception to the way that was celebrated, so I'll just keep an eye on that for now.
I wasn't even watching. I was watching the ball go out and looking at who's in the bullpen down there.
Certainly, it's one of the highest home runs we've seen. 410 to left field. 100 off the bat. Wonder if we have an angle on that as well. Now, see, my TrackMan is much farther from me than yours.
Actually, I put TrackMan with me. I have access to TrackMan. Out here.
All right, 36 degrees. Wow, I thought that was much higher.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think it was Wednesday. Logan Williams put one 434 out at 110 miles per hour. So,
I think the fastest ball I've seen all season. Now Brian Kloppe.
Yep, it looks like bullpen.
Is going to make a change. So Mitchell Stone, I'd have to imagine, Richard, this might be his shortest outing of the year. He's had a really good season, but there might be something bothering him as well. We saw the trainer come out. You can stick around the break if you like, or I can let you go.
No, I'm fine. My wife knows how I am.
All right.
I like to talk baseball.
We're going to hang out with Richard Armstrong through the pitching change. We'll come back. It's 7-3 Vibes on the 3-run shot by Barfield. Riley Otteson in from the bullpen now to face Jake McMurray. Mitchell Stone is done at 2+ innings, 5 hits, 7 runs. All of them will be earned. A walk and a strikeout. Riley Otteson coming into this game. I am searching feverishly for his stats on my stat pack. A 6.81 ERA. He's 3-0, 17 appearances. He struck out 40, walked 23 in 39 2/3 innings. The ERA, though, is a little bit of a misnomer because he had a much lower ERA and gave up a number of runs in an outing in Grand Junction that was a very high-scoring game. We're still here with Richard Armstrong, broadcaster for the Ogden Raptors, in a 7-3 ball game.
Yeah, but, as you know, Pioneer League, anything can happen.
Listen, it's 7-3. A 4-run inning. I mean, you might as well not even have this. You might as well be a tie game with the way some of these games go. I've seen 13-run innings this year. I've seen the Grand Junction Jackalopes come back from down 9 in the 9th. It's
the Pioneer League.
It's crazy, man.
That's all I could say. It's the Pioneer League.
It's also the Pioneer League South.
That's it right there. That's it right there. And I think this year we probably have the best division this year in the Southern.
I absolutely agree. The parity is unlike the others because, listen, full transparency, NOCO at the start of the season, for my personal expectations, they have played fantastic baseball. Frank Gonzalez has them a really good team. They have good hitting. They have good defense. The pitching, the bullpen, like every other team, it just has to come along with it. But you've got them, the Grand Junction Jackalopes, who it seems like the 3, 4, 5 hitters in their lineup, Washington, Johnson, Cruz, lead the league or are top 5 in every stat. The Boise Hawks, who we see only 6 times this year.
Yeah, and we've seen them a lot, and Gary Van Tolles has done a great job up there for sure.
McMurray stays alive. I'll give you a stat about Jake McMurray. I know you've been seeing him quite a bit. I gave it on the broadcast earlier, and of course I'll say it and I'll probably jinx him, but it was a stat he gave to me, so he can jinx himself. He is 103 at-bats. He's swung and missed 9 times. He has 5 strikeouts and 109 at-bats. Sends this to right. Cam Feltz, Reese Alexiadis. It's Cam Feltz for the first out.
No, I agree with Jake McMurray. He was a menace up in Ogden the past 3 games. And, you get worried about people like this, McMurray, Stroop. But you also got to look at the other side, too, because there's some on each and every other team, too.
Yep. And it's sort of a great problem to have when you have guys who are having great years. For me, my number one goal is to get guys up into affiliated baseball.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And that's what this whole league is, the independent league is to get those guys up there. And, when last year, I don't know how you guys did, but 12 players got signed last year to 12 different major league teams last year.
We had 2, one from the Monclova days and one post-Monclova. Jesus Rios, who was the Vibes opening day starter, in fact, and Pedro Alfonseca, a one-time Raptor.
Yes. Yep.
2-1. It's just one of those things. You're in the middle of a playoff run, and all of a sudden, you might get your best player taken away. In fact, I heard quite a few stories along those lines in 2019 when the Raptors and Chuckers faced off when they were in separate divisions. Ogden had something like a 56-win season and a 76-game season, but then all the guys got called up.
Yep. The Los Angeles Dodgers, when we were affiliated with them, basically took probably a third to a quarter of the team away. And when you do something like that, you take a core away, and then you have to fill that, which the Dodgers did, but they didn't bring the quality of players as we gave them. And so that hurt us during that time period. I mean, we were on the run to basically take the whole league.
3-2 to Lopez. That is line past the glove of Dakota Connors. A single with 1 out here in the 3rd. We're speaking of Richard Armstrong, longtime Ogden Raptor, director of stadium ops?
Game day operations.
Game day operations.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's been probably about 6 years now. I was basically director of video board operations for 12, and I do about everything. I do PA announcing, I do scoreboard operating, I do video board operating, I've done now broadcasting. It's just like Monday, I got to spend my whole night with Chauncey Leopardi from the Sandlot Squints.
Yes, that's right. You had Sandlot night, and I believe you guys went to the pool where the famous scene was shot.
Yes, where the lifeguard actually gave him a kiss. And we had about 150 fans there meet and greet him, and then we came back down to the ball field, and he spent probably 6 innings signing autographs and taking pictures. What a great person he is.
I have to say, I love some of the fantastic things about minor league baseball. The certain jerseys you get to wear, and I know you wore Sandlot jerseys. The vibes with all sorts of different jerseys this year, 8 in fact. And then you guys coming out in those tie-dyes before every game, that's always very interesting. I find those very cool.
That is something our owner, Dave Baggett, is very into, is tie-dyes. And this year we changed up the tie-dyes. And the players like them. The fans love them because we actually sell them in our souvenir stand. And tie-dye is a big thing with us. So, but I've seen some of your guys' jerseys, like the pink ones, absolutely gorgeous for cancer.
Yep.
Big deal about that. And there's been some other ones that I've seen online, too.
I think we wore the Euronas jerseys all 3 days of the series. Now, are you guys still doing the Carnivoros?
No.
Okay.
We actually decided not to anymore, and we actually sold all of them. We had a lot of people interested in them, and they, especially the game-worn ones, and they're all sold.
It's 3-2 to Elvis Peralta here in what might be the longest bottom of the third of the year for only 3 runs being scored. Mitchell Stone replaced by Otteson. It's 3-2 to Peralta. Swings, it's a high chopper over the head of the first baseman, Teixeira, and that's going to send Ethan Lopez to third base. So back-to-back hits here off Otteson after getting the first man out, McMurray.
Now batting number 12, David Martinez.
I'll give you guys an opportunity here. What are some upcoming things for Ogden that the fans can expect? Because I know we do get Ogden viewership.
Yeah, Friday is Jurassic Park night, and we have specialty jerseys for that. We've got a great big Velociraptor blue on the front of it with Jurassic Park colors. On the back is our nameplate, which we're not having a nameplate this year. It's tastes like chicken. Do you want to know why? Because our mascot loves children because they taste like chicken.
Oh, my gosh.
So we've got that.
Give me the name of the mascot again.
Augie.
Augie Dog. Thank you.
Yep, Augie. So we've got that one coming up this Saturday. Tomorrow is going to be a great night for us. Hopefully we get fans there.
There goes Peralta. The throw from Horner is not in time. They might have been guarding against a possible double steal as well.
So instead of being home doing that game, I'm here. But they've got the league of their own.
Yes, I did see that.
Women's game tomorrow night.
Well, tomorrow night you will be here.
I will be here.
For Army versus Air Force night.
Yep, and guess what? I am an Air Force veteran, so I will be rooting for Air Force.
You will be in the Air Force cheering section, my friend. It should be fun. We'll have the battery from Fort Carson with an 18-gun salute out in left field. We'll have a flyover. It'll be a really nice night. Of course, it's for the veterans, and every Thursday is free for military members, but this is also a special day we've put on every year for as long as I can remember, going back to Sky Sox. And to see those, I don't know the technical term, but I would say howitzers come onto the field and shoot those off before the national anthem. It's a sight to see, and boy, are they loud.
Oh yeah, I'm looking. You know what? When you sent me the tickets and I seen them, and I'm going, Army versus Air Force. I figured it was going to be a special night. Being an Air Force veteran of 10 and a half years and being over in Desert Shield, Desert Storm, veterans mean a lot to me.
And it's a huge part of our Colorado Springs community. we, of course, want to thank you for your service on our broadcast as well.
Well, I greatly appreciate it. I don't take much credit. It's those other guys that are out there right now that are doing the job for us.
A wild pitch brings in Ethan Lopez, 8-3, the Vibes lead. I mean, we're surrounded on basically any way you look. We've got Peterson, we've got Fort Carson, we have, I cannot think of the other name off the top of my head. I apologize.
The Air Force Academy. You've got, oh, jeez, now you got me
now
going.
See, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I even actually tried to get down to Peterson Air Force Base a couple years ago and work for Space Force, so.
2-2 to Martinez. It's a strikeout for Otteson. The throw gets away, and completing the strikeout 2-3 is Horner. First strikeout for Otteson. Peralta, for the moment, stays at third. Of course, I'm mad at myself now for getting the name of the other base, but four or five different installations in this city. It is what this town is made up of, and historically as well. And we love doing things for our veterans here at the ballpark when we can. Here's Matt Hogan. He's only 0 for 1 in this ball game. Ground ball. Otteson on the bare hand. He has to hurry, and he makes the play. A 1-3 out. It's 4 runs in for the Vibes on the 3-run home run by Jacob Barfield. And the wild pitch scoring Ethan Lopez. Richard, I really thank you for stopping by. Can we get a chow baby before the way out?
Nope, I will not do that. That is only the owner.
That is only the owner.
Only the owner. So I do not do that.
Well, I thank you very much for stopping by, for some good conversation, and for some light ribbing. We do appreciate it.
No, I greatly appreciate it, Tyler. Thanks for having me up here. And I'm going to say it, go Raptors.
All right, go Vibes. Well, I'll put it this way to you. It's 8-3 Vibes as we head to the 4th on Vibes TV. Welcome back to the broadcast. 8-3, the Vibes lead. For your middle inning play-by-play, it's Mr. Hudson Ridley.
Thank you, Tyler. It's top of the 4th, bottom of the order. Nerea, Horner, and Feltz all to face the righty Christian Day. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Christian Day up to 57 pitches now. He's allowed 7 hits, which is just 1 less than the Vibes have put on the scoreboard. But an 8-3 lead for Rocky Mountain as it's 1-1 to Nerea. Nerea 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He doesn't offer at strike 2. He's been impressed into service at shortstop after the injury picked up by Sal Gazzo, put him on the 60-day IL. Day working quickly, a swing and a foul ball hit right side off the end of the bat. Nerea stays alive at 1-2. Now a revolving door on the infield for the Raptors, and so far hasn't worked to their success yet. A half swing by Nerea, appeal down the first base line. He got him, says Eric Martinez. Another strikeout for Christian Day. That'll bring up Colton Horner. Horner, a catcher who's been platooned this season alongside Logan Williams, has the catching duties tonight with Williams at third. He pops this one up towards right field. Crosby back on it. He's under it, and he puts it away. The second out of the frame. A quick 2 outs for Christian Day, and it brings up Cameron Feltz. Now, Feltz is a guy we've seen in and out of the lineup, but with him in the 9-hole, it essentially provides Ogden with kind of another leadoff man. Feltz with incredibly high-grade speed. So the combination of him leading off with Ulch, who's not necessarily the fastest, may give you an idea of what Ogden's going for as he looks at ball 1. Feltz 9-hole, rather. Ulch, the one leading it off. The 1-0 is swung on and hit to Peralta. Gloved off the ground. The throw to first. McMurray is there. It's a quick 1-2-3 for Christian Day as the Vibes continue to deal. It's 8-3 Rocky Mountain as we head to the bottom of the 4th. You're watching Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. Welcome back in, bottom of the 4th here on Vibes TV. Hudson Ridley with you. Vibes with an 8-3 lead as it's the top of the order. Brandon Crosby, Steve Barmakian, and Dusty Stroop to face Riley Otteson on the mound. The righty came in for 3 batters last frame in place of Mitchell Stone through 27 pitches to get out of the inning. A big breaking ball taken for strike 1. Crosby doesn't offer, and it's a quick 0-2. Outside part of the black. So far today, he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. The 0-2 outside. Crosby has re-solidified his leadoff position after trading back and forth with Barmakian for a few games. A half swing, and he got him. Strikeout number 2 on the day for Crosby as he heads back to the dugout, and it brings up the aforementioned Steve Barmakian. Barmakian's been to the plate twice, and he's been on first base twice. First frame, he got caught stealing. Last time up, he walked and then was driven around to score. The 5th run of the game for Rocky Mountain. Addison takes his time. Pitch clock low, and he fires low. It's 1-0. Takes upstairs. Barmakian has really found his role as kind of the third, maybe fourth outfielder. It really is kind of tough to tell. Matt Hogan has been solidified in center field, but the corners haven't really been locked down. That one low in the dirt, and it's a quick 3-0. Brandon Crosby's been making pretty much every appearance out in right field. We've seen Barmakian a few times in that spot, but mostly playing in left and platooning with Stephen Wilmer. The 3-0, automatic strike. He takes it middle. The 3-1. Swung on and grounded up the middle. Scooped by Nerea. The throw in time, 2 down. So Nerea with another play from shortstop, and it brings up Dusty Stroop. Stroop today with a double. Wasn't lucky enough to get an RBI as Barmakian didn't really know how to judge it, and it only moved him to third. But that double, nonetheless, his 95th hit of the year as he closes in on 100. Addison fires. It's a hot foul ball. Hits off the sweets. Well, Stroop with 86 RBIs. That's good for second in the Pioneer League, but for a long time it was good for first until Jalen Hubbard of Grand Junction had an explosion to catch up to him. The 0-1 is taken low. It's 1-1. Stroop, though, does have a tougher ballpark to compete in here, with the corners being 350 each way and very high walls all around the ballpark. Not the case at Grand Junction. 1-1 is low. It's 2-1. Those Grand Junction walls, easy to pop one over for sure. Not far and not high, to say the least. 2-1. A swing, and this one popped up. On the infield, drifting over is Teixeira, and that's the third out. So the Vibes go 1-2-3 as the score stays where it is. It's 8-3 as we head to the top of the fifth. You're watching Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. Welcome back into the top of the fifth here on Vibes TV. Hudson Ridley with you. Vibes lead things 8-3 after both sides swap 3 up, 3 down frames. It'll be Christian Day on the mound to face Ulch, Alexiadis, and Williams. First pitch to Ulch is taken outside for ball 1. Swing and a miss. Had him off kilter, and he stammers out of the batter's box. 1-1. Day working quickly, not letting 10 seconds go off the clock. That breaking ball just a bit outside. Olch takes low, 3-1. A nice crowd here on hand at UC Health Park for Springs Night. Fireworks Friday here is a swing and a miss. Kind of sounded like a foul tip into the glove of Martinez, but all the same, it's a full count. Day wasting no time again. The payoff pitch is outside, ball 4. Tried to backdoor him on the off speed, and it didn't work. The leadoff man is on, Nick Olch, with a walk. That's Olch's third time on base today. He's been up 3 times. A walk, a single, and a double. Just missing the triple and a home run of the cycle, the hard part. That brings up Reese Alexiadis. A swing and a liner at Peralta, catches it. 1 gone. Didn't really look like that hot of a shot at him. He had time to square up, get in position, and make the out. So with 1 gone, it brings up Logan Williams. Williams is 0 for 2 so far. Swing and a liner at Peralta, but it gets over him this time. Out and to left, Barmakian will field. It takes a tough hop, and now runners on first and second after the single from Williams. Still 1 gone. Well, Barmakian had to play that kind of carefully. It nearly got away from him. Now it's Damian Henderson. The DH has really done everything except what he's been asked to do. Struck out swinging twice. Day now taking his time before he fires. A swing and a miss. He's down 0-1. Runner on second is Olch. At first, it's Williams. One and one now. He takes low. Henderson is a pretty interesting case of a player. You could kind of consider him a Stephen Wilmer-ish guy, a two-way player, but really mostly known for hitting. Doesn't really pitch unless the situation has gotten out of hand. 1-1, a swing and a miss. Tipped off the bottom of his bat and into the glove of Martinez. It's 1-2. Now he calls time. We've seen Henderson have a rough day on the mound one day at UC Health Park and then came back the next day and had a career day from the plate, so some ups and downs in the Springs for Henderson so far. Day decides on a pitch with Martinez. The 1-2. Can't get strike 3. He wanted that one, and he'll shake it off. Thought he had Henderson looking, which would have been his third K of the day. Instead, it's 2-2 with 1 gone. The pitch is low, and now he works the count full. So from 1-2 to a full count. They will reset. Lead off for Williams and Olch. The payoff pitch is low. So Day loads the bases just a smidge offline. And now with 1 gone, he's in a jam. That brings up Juan Teixeira. Teixeira today, 1 for 2. Last time up, he singled. First pitch he sees is inside. Day's next pitch, strike one. One ball, one strike, one out. The base is loaded. A swing and a liner to right. Crosby in, but he'll play it on a hop. A run will score as Ogden moves station to station. And the lead now cut to half. It's 8-4 Vibes. It's a tough call for Crosby and right. If he came on too much with the bases loaded, surely more damage would be done. So the smart play to play it on a hop. That puts Williams at third, Henderson at second, and Teixeira at first with the single. Raptors now ahead in the hit column 9-8 as it brings up the 6-hole hitter Dakota Connors. Martinez and Day having a meeting at the mound. Day on 81 pitches. He's done what you come to expect from Day. With the high offense in the Pioneer League, 4 runs through 4 1/3 frames. But now he's in a jam if he wants to be in line for the win. One swing of the bat can end the frame, though, with the double play on. Teixeira at first, the usual first baseman. Doesn't run particularly well. First pitch taken, ball 1. And Day having a tough time really honing in on the zone. He'll regroup in less than 10 seconds and fire, and that's a strike. A solid frame by Martinez. It puts the count at 1-1. And that's strike 2. Day goes back to a similar spot, gets the same call. And now a pretty big 4th pitch for the righty. Pitch number 85. A swing and he stays alive. Had to fully extend to knock it off the top of his bat, and it remains 1-2. That's protecting the plate if you're Dakota Connors. Connors on the day, 1 for 2. First time up he singled, then was caught stealing. The 1-2 fouled off yet again. He's making Day work for the out. Not a lot of wind to contend with if you're Christian Day. Just some blowing out towards right field, but as far as Colorado Springs is concerned, very minimal. The third 1-2. A swing, and this is hit to Peralta. Could be 2. It's 1. The throw to first. In the dirt, the scoop, and he's safe! McMurray can't believe it. A full extension split as boos rain down from the crowd. They do not agree with Eric Martinez down the first base line. It brings a run across, and it's 8-5 Vibes. So Connors on by the skin of his teeth, and he drives in Williams from third. It's runners on the corners with 2 down. Boy, Lopez and McMurray just inches away from connecting on the double play, and they will have to go through another batter. The first pitch to Nerea is strike 1. Martinez thought about the pickoff. It'll send Connors squarely back to first base. The 0-1, not offered, and it's in the dirt and scooped up by Martinez. A little action now in the Vibes bullpen. It looks like Jackson Cunningham is warming the arm. Righty with the 3/4 slot. Interesting delivery. 1-1, swung on and missed. Tipped off the handle of his bat. It's 1-2 all the same. Time called now. Nerea will stretch out. A big pitch for Day. It's Henderson at third, Connors at first. The Vibes with a 3-run lead, 8-5. The 1-2. Outside and blocked by Martinez. He quickly holds Connors at first.
I know they're real, but don't hand them out, I thought.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runners on for Christian Day. The pitch to Nerea is inside. Nearly gets him, and it loads the count. Runners will take off. The payoff pitch. Swing and a liner to left. Barmakian over. And he makes the catch on the run. Steve Barmakian saves at least 1 run as the Vibes hold the lead. Raptors put up 2 to make it 8-5. We head to the bottom of the 5th. You're watching Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. Welcome back into Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. Jacob Barfield up to bat now for the Vibes. Barfield in his last at-bat, a 2-run home run, and boy, he really pimped that. That may make the Raptors upset in this situation. We'll see what they go with. First pitch to Barfield, a swing and a foul ball at the plate, so they're not looking to go after it. The 0-1 swung on and fouled off back to the press box, and it lands in the seats. Well, Barfield, with his 17th home run on the season, is now tied for 5th place in the entire Pioneer League with none other than Dusty Stroop. He's been on quite the tear lately. He's down 0-2. Otteson lets the clock run all the way down. Ball 1 to Barfield. Doesn't offer, and it's 2-2. He battles back in the count.
And that's one important thing about Barfield. He's not been offering at those kinds of pitches. That's why he now leads this team in batting average at 372, and why you were seeing such a hot streak. He is really locked in right now, hitting pitches that are in the zone and letting the ones go that don't.
It's the 2-2 from Otteson. He doesn't offer at that, but that one's in the zone. It's strike number 3 to Barfield. And the leadoff man down for Otteson. So with Barfield heading back to the dugout, it brings up Jake McMurray.
Some good work right now by Otteson. Your starter gets pulled early. What do? Well, you go 2 innings, allowing just the 1 run. That's what you need to get your boys back in the game.
Now, the only issue for Otteson is pitch count steadily climbing. Number 46 to McMurray is not offered at. It's ball 1. But in relief, in terms of numbers, he's done a solid job. It's a tough part of the lineup to get through, but he's been doing his best. McMurray 1 for 2 on the day. Swings at this. Nerea charges from short, fields on a hop, throw to first. And McMurray now falls below 500 on the game. He's 1 for 3, 2 gone.
And that's 7 in a row now retired by Otteson. He had a 1-2-3 in the 4th, and now 1 batter away from a 1-2-3 in the 5th.
Ethan Lopez is the man who stands in his way from that feat, and he's had himself a day so far. 2 for 2, an RBI. He's been driven in twice. On deck for the Vibes is the lefty Peralta. They'd hope to get to that point. First pitch to Lopez, not offered at, and it's strike 1. Otteson really finding that bottom part of the zone. A swing and a liner to center. Back goes Alexiadis, further back, contorting, and he makes the play. The third out as the Vibes go 1-2-3 yet again, and Otteson continues to deal. Rocky Mountain still leads things 8-5 as we head to the top of the 6th. You're watching Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. Welcome back into Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. I'm Hudson Ridley. The man to my left is Tyler Peterson, and we have a pitching change as Christian Day comes out of the game. It's lefty Reed Butts on the mound. Butts on the season, 5.60 ERA through 27 1/3 innings pitched. 12 walks, 21 strikeouts. And he's really solidified himself in the last few weeks for Rocky Mountain. He'll face Horner. First pitch is high, ball 1.
No, you're right, Hudson. He's certainly what I might call a high performer. He's been put into a lot of situations where multiple men are on base, and he's gotten out of those jams.
He seems to do better with runners on base. This one sharply hit foul into the Vibes bullpen.
For Christian Day, not a quality start in the books, but a start that certainly has put him in a position to win this ball game. 5 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts.
A foul ball again from Horner, and he's down 1-2.
A quality start, of course, being 6 or more innings and 3 or fewer runs.
The Marcus Stroman special for the
Marcus
Chicago Cubs.
Stroman blue plate special.
The 1-2 to Horner. Doesn't elicit a swing. It's 2-2. Butts on the 2-2. A swing and a liner to center. Hogan over, but he'll have to play it on a hop. It's a leadoff base hit for Colton Horner.
Now batting Cameron Phelps.
With a man on, Cam Feltz up to the dish. That's hit number 10 on the day for the Raptors. They lead in that category. Quick glance out into left field shows our scoreboard, our lines right now. For the Raptors, 5 runs on 10 hits, no errors. For the Vibes, 8 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. That came from Elvis Peralta in the first. Feltz shows bunt. He pulls it back, and it's ball 1. That one came in on his feet. Shows bunt again. This one popped up sky high, about as high as you can pop up a bunt. It's 1-1. This game, 8-5 in favor of the Vibes, but we do have some more Pioneer League contests around the league. Out west in Grand Junction, Idaho Falls leads the Jackalopes. It's 6-3 in the bottom of the 6th, so that's the first piece of good news if you're a Vibes fan. Time called now at the plate.
Really, if you're a Raptors fan, either, too.
You really, if you're watching this broadcast and you're a fan of a Pioneer League South team, good news all around. Top of the 6th versus in the Owls versus the Mustangs, rather. Feltz shows bunt again and pulls it back. The Mustangs with a 4-3 lead over the Owls in the top of the 6th, so not necessarily commanding, but another good piece of news if you're a Vibes fan or a Raptors fan. Bottom of the 5th up in Boise, the Hawks and Range Riders knotted at 3 apiece as the 2-1 is taken for ball 3. Then the only other game on tap today, it's an all Pioneer League North matchup between Missoula and Great Falls. The Paddleheads lead things 6-4 out in Great Falls in the bottom of the 4th. The 3-1 challenge fastball is fouled back and it loads the count full. The runner on first is Horner. Payoff pitch from Butts. Strikes him out. A delayed call behind the plate from Stu Bertrand, but he grabs the bottom of the zone and a nice strikeout from Reed Butts. There's one down here in the top of the 6th.
I don't know what Feltz was looking for, but that was a pretty good pitch right in the zone. I think he was looking for the Reed Butts curveball because if he's sitting fastball, that's probably slapped into the outfield somewhere.
If Nick Olch, the batter up right now, gets a pitch like that, he'll likely take advantage as he takes ball 1. Olch on the day is 2 for 2, a single, a double. He's also drawn a walk, batted in 2 runs, and he's come in to score twice himself, so he's really jamming his line score. Quick 2-0 to the lefty. Some movement in the bullpen. Jackson Cunningham yet again warming up. We said that last time, but Reed Butts came in. Vibes opting for a lefty. The 2-0, he'll check over on Horner before he fires. And a quick 3-0 to Olch.
And I think you'll see that with Alexiadis and Logan Williams up next, you may see Cunningham come into this ballgame, try to get a ground ball off one of them.
The 3-0. It's taken upstairs, and it's a 4-pitch walk from Butts. He throws his hands up in frustration. He may have thought he clipped the zone. Instead, it's 2 on with 1 gone, and looks like Mark Goodman will come out to the mound. This could be it for Butts.
I have to say, Olch is fairly tall. I really don't know where that would have missed.
That's the end of Butts' day. A quick one as Jackson Cunningham comes on from the bullpen. We'll be back with you in just a moment. Vibes lead things 8-5. You're watching Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. Welcome back in. Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. Reed Butts, done. In his place comes in the righty, Jackson Cunningham. Cunningham, 7.55 ERA through 39 1/3 innings pitched. 14 walks and 18 strikeouts, so low numbers of both through the first 39 1/3 frames. He'll face Reese Alexiadis with a runner on first and second. Ball one.
For Butts, it's a third of an inning. He allowed a hit, a walk, and a strikeout to 3 batters. Both runners are his.
Alexiadis on the day, 1 for 3. A single to his name coming in the first frame. Swing and a tip off the end of his bat. 1-1.
I mean, he's thinking pretty much one thing. The wind is blowing out to left, which I'm surprised because I don't see that happen very often.
I was going to agree with you there, Tyler. It's very rare, and Alexiadis, with a league-leading 22 home runs, is known to swing for power. The 1-1, he does just that, but he misses. Cunningham blows it by him, and it's 1-2.
Well, now with that outside corner very much in play tonight, you may see Cunningham try to send Alexiadis even a little farther out.
Has the handedness advantage, righty-righty, and that arm slot a tough one to hit. 1-2 to Alexiadis. It's inside, and it's ball 2. Opting to go on the inside part. We'll see if he tries for the outside. Tyler, you mentioned that part in play tonight. Horner at second. It's Ulch at first. Pitch clock below 5. Cunningham fires. It's hit on a liner to Lopez. Could be 2. The slide, but he's safe.
I thought he got back in there.
Just barely. Colton Horner keeping the Raptors in it this frame.
We'll see it again here. And we're going to get a pretty good look at it.
He was safe.
It was close, but it was closer on the replay than what I first saw. I'll put it that way.
Heads up base running by Horner, but what an individual effort at second base by Ethan Lopez. There's 2 gone, and Logan Williams will take strike 1. Both Lopez and Barfield being mic'd up tonight. Both of them having fantastic nights. Barfield and Lopez both at the plate, but then Lopez out in the field as well. It's 0-1 to Williams. Upstairs, 1-1.
Maybe a little bit too much of a pullback for Martinez. That's one that if it's toward the outside, you sort of let your glove move with it. That had a snap pullback as if to say, it's not a strike, now I'm making it a strike. Maybe if you hold it where you caught it, you'll get it. I'm not sure.
Wasn't enough to convince home plate umpires. A swing and a miss from Williams. He's down 1-2.
Well, now, certainly this first pitch has to be out of the zone on 1-2. 2-2, you might have to come back in, but on 1-2, you can try to make Williams fish.
Cunningham hasn't had much swing and miss stuff this year, only 18 strikeouts. The pitch, this one lined into right field. Crosby in on it. Being waved around third is Horner. The play at the plate, he is out by a country mile. Brandon Crosby, the hose from right field, and it leaves the score where it is. 8-5 Vibes as we head to the bottom of the sixth. You're watching Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. Bottom of the sixth here on Vibes TV. Welcome in. Vibes lead things 8-5. I'm Hudson Ridley. The man to my left is Tyler Peterson. It'll be the bottom of the order. Peralta, Martinez, and Hogan to face Addison, who has done himself pretty well here. 7 straight batters retired. First pitch to Peralta is lined foul.
Well, I don't know right now because with those 7 straight retired, Addison's only allowed 2 hits since he's come in. He's got a little bit of a riddle of the Sphinx going on here.
Peralta hits this one right back up the middle.
And you're welcome.
A base hit for Elvis Peralta, and our announcer's Jinx Magic strikes again, courtesy of Tyler.
I felt I needed to impose myself upon this game, Hudson, so I just thought I'd...
It's crazy how that magic carries over into real life, too, Tyler. Very few people know he possessed that skill outside.
Well, see, when we get together every year in the broadcaster magician Zoom call, we're sworn to keep those powers to within the 3 hours we are on the mic.
First pitch to Martinez, strike 1.
Should it ever get out, it might wreak havoc.
Might start using it on the stock market and leave this Vibes job. You never know. 0-1 to Martinez, who's 0 for 2 on the day. He's struck out. Long time from Odison. He fires, and it's a quick 0-2. Runner at first is Peralta after the leadoff single. On deck, it's Hogan. Time called.
I don't think time was called. He's just using his allotted time.
You're right, because he got right back in before 8 seconds. The hand was up from the home plate umpire, but nothing much. Fired at 1 second, and it's upstairs.
Now, I don't know the rule whether a pitcher can come set before a batter is in the box. I mean, I've seen pitchers do it. I think Christian Day today did it quite a bit, but sort of have to give the batter a little bit of time once he gets in there to go, okay, now I'm ready.
Joe Kelly recently did that. Pickoff move, check on Peralta, but he's back in safe.
The Joe Kelly villain saga is very interesting in baseball.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of the Joe Kelly villain saga. Even though I despise the Dodgers, him showing up in the mariachi suit to the White House, I love it. It's fantastic. 1-2 to Martinez. Odison fires. This one hit on a liner. Caught. The throw to second. Got him. Double play the unconventional way. Peralta with just too much of a leadoff and couldn't scamper back in time. So now, all of a sudden, 2 gone, and it brings up Matt Hogan, a flip of the script here in the bottom of the 6th. Vibes still with that 8-5 lead. All work being done, though, in the 2nd and 3rd frames. Ball 1 to Hogan.
So this is something that happened on the last day of the road trip. The Vibes got out to a very hot start. They scored 4 times on 3 home runs, and that's where the game stayed. 5-4, the Raptors won.
A swing, and this one popped up high and into the seats. A big thud as it lands inches from a ducking fan, and it's scooped up. A souvenir delivered by Matt Hogan, and it puts the count at 1-1. Odison has 1 second to release it. He doesn't, but the clock resets here. Now he'll kick and deal to Hogan. Takes inside, ball 2.
So that pitch is being given to right-handed hitters, but when it comes inside on a lefty, it is not being given tonight.
Hogan puts a lefty swing on it and sends it into the hole in right. It's a 2-out base hit for Matt Hogan, and it keeps the frame alive as the lineup turns over and Brandon Crosby comes up to bat.
Now batting number 20, Crosby.
Crosby now up to 3 home runs on the season after he had one in Ogden. He talks about how success against former teams for him is big. And he came up big with a deep blast out in Utah. Today, though, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, so not as much luck. Puts a charge into this one in center. Alexiadis on, and it drops in front of him. Back-to-back 2-out hits for the Vibes as a rally starts here.
Now batting number 10, Steve Barr.
Now, this is a big spot for the Vibes as Barmakian comes up. Tyler, as you mentioned, in recent games, the Vibes have been getting out to strong leads, but then as the offense diminishes down the stretch, they relinquish those leads, and it leads to pretty bad losses, which is what they're looking to avoid as they make a second-half playoff push. First pitch outside to Barmakian. Now with the chance, though, and a runner in scoring position. If Barmakian continues this 2-out rally and puts the Vibes a tally ahead, pretty important for Rocky Mountain's success. The runner on second is Hogan. At first, it's Crosby. 2 guys with a lot of speed. Barmakian takes ball 2 on the outside edge.
Look at it this way, too. You've got out to the 8-3 lead. You've now given up the 2 runs, so it's a 3-run ball game. You want to be the next response. You want to be the next run in this ball game. If there's another run, you want it to come from your guys.
The questions around Rocky Mountain in recent weeks have been the bullpen, so stepping up here offensively is big. Barmakian to left, going back at the wall, and it one hops against the wall. That'll score at least 2 as it's extra bases for Steve Barmakian. A big spot, and it extends the Vibes lead. It's 10-5.
I didn't think Nick Olch took a bad route at all, but I was very surprised to see that ball get by him. That 2-run double, huge for the Vibes.
Now, that ball didn't knock off the wall and land on the ground. It hit the ground first and bounced off the wall, so a ball that Olch could have gotten to. He has range as a left fielder, but didn't work for him that time. Now 10-5 Vibes as Dusty Stroop digs in with a runner in scoring position. First pitch swinging, or at least half, but it's still strike 1. Barmakian with a leadoff at second. The 0-1 to Stroop. Swing and a miss. He's down 0-2. Oh, and 2 to Stroop. 2 outs. 1 for 3 on the day with a double. Odison taking his sweet, sweet time. Fires a swing and a liner, and it's caught. Inches off the ground by Juan Teixeira at first base. And that's the other hot corner. The Vibes, though, tack 2 more on as it's 10-5. We head to the top of the 7th. You're watching Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. Welcome back into Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. We have a pitching change and an announcer change. I'm Hudson Ridley, and the man who will take you the rest of the way, it's Tyler Peterson.
Thanks, Huddy. It's Ray Rodriguez on the mound, his 10th appearance overall. A 9.90 ERA, a record of 0-0. In 8 of those appearances, he's given up 5 runs. And in one of those appearances, he's given up 9. So a little bit of an inflated ERA. He'll face Damian Henderson, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. First pitch, breaking ball for a strike. A 10-5 lead for the Vibes. 5 runs on 11 hits, no errors for Ogden. 10 runs on 12 hits, and 1 error for Rocky Mountain.
The Vibes replace a righty with a righty as Cunningham comes out of the game. He gets credit for 2/3 of an inning, a hit, and zeros across the book as he tallies nothing else.
So the 6th split up between Butts and Cunningham, and now this bat split up as Brandon Crosby will have to play that on a hop. As broken a bat as one can have, I suppose, and big-time Texas-sized Texas leaguer for Damian Henderson.
Henderson had been hitless on the day as a DH. That's just kind of one where it goes your way and might stoke a little confidence for the 4-hole hitter.
Well, Rodriguez is not going to be too happy about that. Got a massive break on some soft contact, and now it's a runner on anyway. Juan Teixeira, 2 for 3. He drove a man in with an RBI single in the 5th. It's a nice spinning slider to the outside. To right field. Crosby, he's got to get back, and quickly. He will play this off the wall. The relay throw from Lopez to the plate. It is out at home plate. 9-4-2. And Henderson done. Great throw from Lopez, and great job by David Martinez to assess the situation in front of him when he turned round. You can't block the plate. You got to stay in front of it, and a blind swipe doesn't always do you good. It'll be a double for Teixeira and a put out at the plate.
The vibes have turned into a relay machine from the outfield so far today. It's really worked in their favor.
Connors down the right field line into the Coca-Cola courtyard. He is 1 for 3 with an RBI. A runner at second, 1 away here in the 7th on a Fireworks Friday. And tomorrow, don't forget, Army versus Air Force night will be another fun night tomorrow. This pitch is high.
Now, Tyler, I'm not asking you to pick sides, but if you see Army versus Air Force on a football slate, is there someone you're more inclined to cheer for?
That's a good question. Not off the top of my head, there's 2 very different styles of play. I'll say that for those 2 teams. Swing and a miss. Air Force with some fairly good national attention these last couple of years, as with Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Army, however, as an independent, they get sort of a strange collection of a schedule.
Army had a catch in training camp the other day. I know, a catch in Army training camp. That probably was a top 5 catch of the season already, and they'll never throw to that guy during the year.
It wasn't the lineman catching a punt, was it?
No. That I always love seeing, but it was a ridiculous one-handed grab. Personally, I'm always partial to Navy. But
Well, one of my grandfathers was in the Army. The other was in the Navy. So in that regard, some lineage for both. Connors again out of play.
personally, my grandfather was in the Navy, so I do root for the boys in Annapolis.
One of my grandfathers was in the Navy by choice, and the other got drafted into the Army.
Ooh.
So
It's a bit of a rough one. Mine swabbed the decks in the Navy in World War II. We always asked him what he was in the Navy. He said, miserable.
2-2, that's high. We'll have all the vets, active duty military personnel here tomorrow. It'll be a great night. Hudson will be your first time seeing the 18-gun volley before a game. It's quite loud. Let's put it that way. 3-2 to right toward the bullpen over Angel Tiburcio, who's standing on the mound, and foul out of play. We do have a flyover. I don't know what type of vehicle will be flying over. Of course, the helicopter flying over, the Blackhawk helicopter on opening day, was very special, and the timing almost perfect with the end of that anthem. Another 3-2 to Dakota Connors. It hits him in the head. Hello. I think that got him in the shoulder. Connors is not happy. I don't blame him. I'm pretty sure that got him in the shoulder. Now, he said something to Ray Rodriguez and David Martinez, but Jake McMurray is going to walk over and put his arm around him and say, hey, dude, it just slipped.
The Vibes are going to have to be careful not to flare tensions in this situation. Last series against Ogden at home, there were a few ejections, and earlier today, Jacob Barfield kind of watching a home run fly. Some words were exchanged at home plate between him and the catcher Horner. So, going to have to always be careful in these Pioneer League South matchups.
I'll add the caveat that the ejections from last series had nothing to do with the two teams. It was the team sort of against the umpire. But I saw it's a little spark earlier today. So now Nerea. Single, double, and hit by pitch in this inning. The only out was the 9-4-2 relay to home plate. Not a great start from Rodriguez here. But that's a good slider to start this at bat. The most spin on the team. If you take average pitches, average spin, his is the highest. There's strike two. It's an excellent pitch on the outside.
And if you've seen the spin rate of Marvin Guzman, you'd know how impressive that just is from Rodriguez. A lot of guys who can really get the RPMs up on this team.
He's about 3,000 on that breaking ball. 2,900 to 3,000. 0-2. Ground ball to Peralta. Takes the big hop in stride. To Lopez. To McMurray. Plenty of time. 6-4-3. Double play. And the inning is over. Somehow, for the second straight inning, the Raptors do not score. It's 2 hits and 2 left on base. We head to the bottom of the 7th. It's time to stretch. A 10-5 ball game on Vibes TV. Welcome back to Vibes Baseball on Vibes TV. Tyler and Hudson with you. It's a 10-5 ball game here in the bottom of the 7th. Jacob Barfield lead it off against the new pitcher, Marshall Schill. Marshall Schill, his 29th game of the season, a 6.12 ERA, no record. Struck out 29, walked 17 in 32 and 1/3 innings. Barfield off the end of the bat to center field. Alexiadis waits for it to come down for out number 1.
A loud out there as Barfield heads back to the dugout. Otteson, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs, all 3 of them earned, no walks, 3 strikeouts.
McMurray 1 for 3. His first pro home run in our last homestand. It's on Sunday. It's good to see from Jake, who's been waiting for it this year. Schill gets the call on the inside. Off the end of the bat, down the right field line. This might get foul. It will. Onto the track. See the big body of Angel Tiburcio down in that Vibes bullpen. Getting ready for the 8th. We may see new Vibe Carlos Lomelli take the 9th. 2 new Vibes. Carlos Lomelli wearing 35. And Andres Rios, middle infielder, wears number 6. Takes high for ball 2.
I believe the only other Vibe that we haven't seen at home so far who's on the roster is Derek Schoen. Everybody else has gotten in there at one point or another.
And it's strike 3 called. Right there for Jake McMurray. First strikeout for Schill, 2 away. If not for that Barmakian double, it'd be a very quiet last 4 innings. Now Ethan Lopez, who assisted in that 9-4-2, and then on the 6-4-3.
McMurray in 106 at-bats, that's just his 5th strikeout.
He still only swung and missed 9 times this year. Lopez had a hand in all 3 outs of the previous inning. 2 for 3, an RBI, scored twice. Schill from that odd angle, he's got good movement both ways, both cutting into the righty and trailing away. Perhaps sinker 2-seam and version of a slider. Back to Schill. And that's a quick 7th inning. We head to the 8th. Vibes. They lead at 10-5 on Vibes TV. It's the bottom of nothing. It's the top of the 8th, actually. Thank you. Tyler Peterson, that's the person you can blame for that blunder. Hudson Ridley next to me, who's had a great night on the mic. 10-5, the Vibes lead. Angel Tiburcio, the new pitcher for the Vibes. And the first pitch to Colton Horner is a base hit to left. Tiburcio, this is his 10th appearance for the Vibes. He's 2-0 with a 5.79 ERA. The single by Horner now puts a man on in front of Cameron Feltz.
Now batting Cameron Feltz.
For Rodriguez, it's an inning. He allowed 2 hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts, and a hit by pitch. It's a good bunt from Feltz to Bercio. He's got to be quick, and it's a single. He's extremely adept, Cam Feltz, and he got a lot of hits that way last year by doing just that. And now Nick Ulch, who the Vibes have not been able to get out tonight. Double, single, 2 walks. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Ground ball foul past McMurray. The 0-2 is outside. (2,097) fans on this Friday night fireworks. Swung on and tipped into the glove of David Martinez. Maybe. It's a swing and a miss nonetheless. The first for Tiburcio and a big first out here in the 8th. This is a guy who can change a ball game with one big swing of the bat. You got to be careful with Alexiadis. Not being aggressive there, though, as that's right down the middle. Fastball for strike 1. Maybe 1 to measure for Alexiadis. Swing and a miss back with the changeup. And that is an excellent job of pitch selection from Angel Tiburcio and David Martinez. Now where to go on 0-2. Did he go? Yes, says the home plate umpire. It's a strikeout for Angel Tiburcio. 2 in the inning. 2 singles, 2 strikeouts. Not out of the woods yet, the powerful Logan Williams. He has 2 hits tonight in his last 2 at-bats.
Well, for Tiburcio, letting the 8 and 9 reach both on hits and then strikeouts to the 1 and 2, a flip-flop for him.
Pitch breaking ball for strike 1. In the dirt. Chris Macca warming in the Vibes bullpen. (15 hits for the Raptors today for 5 runs. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2. Can Tiburcio come back and go 3 straight after allowing the 2 singles? And now time from David Martinez as a ball gets loose. One and 2 to Williams. Fights it off and stays alive. For the Vibes in the bottom of this inning, Peralta, Martinez, and Hogan. Another foul. The sign agreed to. Tiburcio to the plate, swung on and missed. 2 singles for the Raptors, then Tiburcio strikes out the side. The high heater from Angel, a little bit devilish. We head to the bottom of the 8th. 10-5 Vibes. Peralta to lead off the bottom of the 8th. The Vibes will have at least a 5-run lead going into the 9th. Schill still on the hill. Peralta, ground ball foul. 3 hits tonight for Elvis. Double, 2 RBI. He's scored a run. He's stolen a base. Ground ball. The second baseman, Connors, watch it go by. It's a 4-hit night for Peralta. I'll bring up David Martinez. 4-hit night for Peralta. He's played some good defense tonight. Way outside. There goes Peralta. He will be thrown out. Two to 4 on the caught stealing, and there's 1 away. Martinez to Nerea. He's got time. Makes a strong throw. Good hustle from Martinez, but second out of the bottom of the 8th.
Martinez not a speedster, but you're right. Tyler, you said plenty of time. Martinez really did make that a close play down the first base line. Going to be upset not to reach as he takes an 0 for 4.
Yikes. That is a double whammy.
Well, as Hogan walks gingerly down that first base line, this really leaves a tough predicament for the Vibes in regards to center field. We know Joe Encarnacion can play out there, and he's back, correct, Tyler?
He is not back.
He's not back, sorry. So Joe Encarnacion, not an option. Brett Carson was injured earlier in the year, and Milton Smith, the really only other guy to play that position, is no longer with the team. So it does leave a tough spot for the Vibes if he can't go. But nice jog up and down the first baseline. He looks to be okay.
Let's hope it's just a stinger because, I mean, luckily the pitch didn't come in all that much speed. It was a breaking ball. It's the first hit by pitch of the night by Raptors pitching. So 1 apiece for both these clubs. Now Crosby to get one more at bat. First pitch is fouled down the first base line. So Hogan's on base for the second time tonight, excuse me. The 0-1 to Crosby. Swings and misses. It's a nice pitch. Just a little bit of off-speed movement there. Vibes lead by 5 here in the 8th. Crosby back and out of play. 1 for 4 tonight is Brandon. The single in the 6th, his lone hit.
It's really mostly what he's done with the arm out in right field. 2 nice plays to hose runners at the plate.
0-2. To right. It'll send Feltz in, now back. Not troubled as he puts that one away. For the final out, we head to the 9th. Vibes up 5. We'll see the home debut of Carlos Lomelli as he will attempt to finish off this game and get the Vibes a Game 1 victory. We'll be right back. It's the top of the 9th. It's a 10-5 Vibes lead as Carlos Lomelli comes out of the bullpen for his home debut. 1 appearance in Ogden for Lomelli, 2 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, 2 hits, a walk, in that appearance did not allow a single run.
For Tiburcio, it's an inning pitch, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts as he struck out the side to send us to the 9th now.
He'll face Henderson, Teixeira, and Connors. Not an easy trio. And Lomeli's first pitch is swung on and missed. Carlos Lomeli, a 17th round pick out of St. Mary's College in Moraga, California. He pitched in the Pirates organization for a couple of years, was released from the level at Bradenton, which is A-ball, down in the Florida State League. That was about a week and a half ago now. Already his second Vibes appearance, his first at home. Two and one to Henderson. 1 for 3 is Damian Henderson. There will be fireworks once this game concludes. Now 3 and 1. Got to make Henderson earn it. A walk for him back in the 5th. Up the middle and a base hit. Well, he made him earn it. And now, oh my. Oh, Henderson has just pulled something. Oh my, my, my. As Henderson was running down the first base line, he has come up. With only one really working leg. That right leg has given out.
Non-contact injury, always not a great sign. You hope for just a cramp in this spot.
No, he needs help off the field. You see both trainers, that's Jake McMurray and the first base coach, that might be Mason Ross. They're going to help Damian Henderson off the field, and you just hate to see this. And Landon Barnes will come into pinch run now for Henderson. He's not the cleanup hitter every day, but boy, the cleanup hitter. And listen, when you can ascribe something to an injury, as in, Matt Hogan gets hit by a baseball, yes, you understand the event, but the non-contact injuries are very scary. And something is given out on Damian, and we certainly wish him the best.
The good sight to see for Henderson is that even though he's being helped off, both feet are moving for him. He's not having to hobble over, both moving in succession. So that is a good sign for him, but we wish him all the best.
Well, Landon Barnes will now pinch run, and the batter is Juan Teixeira. Out comes stand-in manager, or excuse me, no, that's Mason Ross heading back to first base after helping Henderson back to the dugout. It's not an easy walk back to the clubhouse either. It's a long flight of stairs. Back to the game, it's Teixeira. Nobody out, a man at first here in the 9th. A team like Ogden, which has already made the playoffs, or really, honestly, any team in the Pioneer League, because everybody's fighting for a playoff spot right now if you don't have one. Injuries at this point in the season are deadly, so we hope Henderson's, whatever it is, does not last for very long. That's foul, it's 0-2. Fouled by Teixeira, he stays alive. A lot of times when guys get released in the minors, it's not necessarily because they've had poor performances or they've aged out. Carlos Lomelli was drafted only a few years ago. He's only 24 years old as Teixeira swings and misses. The first strikeout for Lomelli and the 10th of the night for Vibes pitching. But Carlos Lomelli this year at Bradenton, 26 appearances, a 4.57 ERA. He finished 8 games. He struck out 46 and 41 in the third innings, but I sort of joked with him. I go, well, they had to move you out when they got Skeens in, I guess? And he goes, yeah, I suppose. So when you bring in a whole new draft class, some of those guys who were later round picks who you don't have as much invested in, who, you know, multi-year college guys, sometimes, especially now, with how many fewer spots there are in the minors, some guys are left without a job. Hogan to play that on a hop. That's the right play from Matt.
It's a tough spot, too, to be in for Lomelli if you're bringing in a guy like Paul Skeens, who's already up to the number 3 prospect after just a few games in the minors for Pittsburgh. Really kind of shuffles the deck around, and especially for a lot of these guys, when players are drafted over them, just get bumped down further down the list.
Now Nerea looks at a first pitch breaking ball for strike 1. Nerea is 0 for 4. It's strike 2. The 0-2 to Nerea. It's inside. It's down low. A nice take by Nerea. But it's also a nice pitch by Lomelli because you've got still another pitch to play with. You might as well see if he'll fish. Defense is playing back behind the runners with the 5-run lead. Ground ball could end it. Nerea down the right field line. It's slicing and will continue to slice foul. That's my biggest issue on the course is the slice too. The hook, not so much, but especially with that big driver, Hudson. We won't talk golf in the ninth. We'll save that for another time. 2 and 2.
I can't golf at all,
okay.
So that's perfect.
All right. 2 men on, 1 man out here in the ninth. Nerea, line drive, a base hit to left field. They're going to hold the man Barnes at third, and that's the correct call. 3 hits in the inning. And that'll bring up Colton Horner. Martinez wants a word now with Lomelli. Colton Horner, the catcher, has 3 hits. His fans patiently waiting for fireworks tonight. They're a new battery. I'm not sure if Lomelli was on the mound when Martinez was behind the plate for that first appearance. So it's either their first or second time working together. I don't care what line of work you're in. When you're working with a new coworker, you gotta know what he likes, what he doesn't like. Game of baseball, it's sometimes tough, especially in independent baseball when guys come in and out so much. High attrition rate. The bases are loaded for Colton Horner. He's had a very good night, 3 for 4. First pitch is low. Popped up and foul out of play. Almost all the way back to the concourse. Just in case, Chris Macca getting ready in that Vibes bullpen. The 1-1. Horner to right field. This might drop. And Crosby, no. It gets past him. That's 3 runs. 2 outs maybe. 1 out. It's a run either way. It's a 3-run triple. And with 1 out, it's at least a sacrifice fly. And when guys are going station to station, you might get the 1 run anyway. But if you miss it, you are really opening yourself up there. The tying run now comes to the plate. Horner, a 4-hit night.
Vibes are going to want to get this done before Reese Alexiadis comes up. It's Feltz, then Olch, then Alexiadis, who leads the Pioneer League in home runs.
Feltz, first pitch fastball taken for strike 1. 10-8. The Raptors get another hit. It'll be their 20th. Up the middle. Lopez scoops it out. And he'll make a nice play. It's an RBI ground out. 2 outs in the 9th. And a nice play on the short hop. That was not at all easy at second base. Olch, 2 outs. Raptors down 1. It's a 4-run 9th. Ground ball off his leg. They don't come easy in this league. They certainly don't. Oh, 1. Low. It's a nice pitch all the same from Lamelli. 1-1. Alexiadis on deck. As Hudson said, Vibes have no interest in seeing him in the batter's circle. Batter's box. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Is there a put-away pitch for Carlos Lamelli against Nick Olch? A shakeoff, and now they come to terms. Here comes the 1-2, and that's down and in. This will be a good battle. Olch has been on base 4 times tonight. He's struck out once. Base hit to right field. And now the tying run is on base. Mark Goodman is coming out of the dugout. Just chit-chat for now. Macca will get a few more pitches here in this 30 seconds. Are they talking strategy against Alexiadis? Are they stalling for time? A 1-run ball game in the 9th, and the Raptors now have 20 hits on the night. They don't come easy. It'll be Lamelli's game.
Alexiadis, a Pioneer League All-Star this season for the center field position. 22 home runs.
First pitch. Swung on, popped up, out of play. It's strike one. Alexiadis, a single, a fielder's choice, 2 lineouts, and a strikeout. That has been his night. Oh and 1. Alexiadis, a swing and a miss. It's 0 and 2. Setting up outside is Martinez. Lomelli's pitch is up the middle. It's into the glove of Lomelli. He throws to first. And that is an opening win in this series against the Raptors. The Vibes hold on, but barely. They win 10-9.
Wins never come easy in the Pioneer League. This is exactly what the Vibes needed. Extending their gap on the Pioneer League South came into today 2 games ahead of the Owls and the Jackalopes, and they really need to widen that gap further. Christian Day today getting the win after pitching 5 innings. He's now up to 7-4. That ties him with Peyton Long for 5th for pitching wins on the season. Meanwhile, Mitchell Stone, after a hot start to the season, now drops to 4-4. Your final line scores on the day. For the Raptors, 9 runs on 20 hits, no errors. For the Vibes, 10 runs on 13 hits, 1 error. So the Vibes losing in the error category and the hit category. But all that matters is that first line of runs. We send it down to the field where Tyler Peterson has today's Whataburger Player of the Game.
Experiences. Down to you, Tyler.
Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Hudson. I'm here with our Whataburger Player of the Game. It's Jacob Barfield. And Jacob, at the start of the year, you let these guys know the expectations that were coming for this season. Right now, if results hold, the Vibes are 3 games up in first place. Where are things in this season?